It says we're live. Fingers crossed.
I'll tell you in a second.
I was like, I really hope I did
Yep.
this right.
Yes.
Dodge that bullet. Hey, everybody.
Hi.
It's Jen and Alicia.
Hi.
Nicole will be in the comments, hopefully.
Yes.
She had a change of plan, so we're going to attempt to see what live streams in February will be like.
You'll be fine. We'll be fine.
I probably should have known to like make notes or do some sort of post-it note situation, but I got nothing. I have thoughts. I have good thoughts. They'll come up.
Well,
I shouldn't even say they're good thoughts. What am I doing?
Because you are a bigger fan of the series than I am, and as a whole,
Yeah.
What like I had an issue with like how jumpy it was in the first half.
This one. Oh, I guess we should probably say what book we're talking.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Oh wait. Okay, now I got to figure out. Is it? Hey, thanks, Liz. I can do it.
I told you. Just hold the cursor over top, and you'll be fine.
So we're talking about Kingdom of the Feared. I'll get one of these sides right by Kerri Maniscalco.
Book 3. And I don't know what the series is called, but book 3.
I think it's just The Kingdom of the Wicked is the series, and it's supposed to be a trilogy. But honestly, tell me if you felt this way.
Enough for there to be more. She left it open enough for there to be more.
That's what I'm thinking. And honestly, because we were talking before the live stream, that we were kind of a little bit more interested in Pride and his story with, Victoria and the first witch's daughter, Claudia. First of all, lots of spoilers going to happen.
Sorry, we're going to spoil. We're going to jump all over the place. Just giving you a heads up now. Spoiler.
I think there's something in the description box. Hopefully, if there's not, Nicole, can you put something in the description box about spoilers? Thanks.
We usually end up spoiling stuff within the first 10 minutes anyway.
I mean, we do typically start towards the end. But yeah, I felt like that part was left open enough that we would get a story about, like, did Claudia decide to hold the little magic crystal and get her memories back, and how is that going to plan out? Because I would be very interested to see how that goes.
That'd more about their story than the one that was covered in here.
Yeah, because this one, I feel like after a certain point, they were together. Okay. Oh, we got another one.
Hi, cool gamer. And we are live on YouTube. It just popped up on my phone too, so we're all set.
Okay.
So you're good. I don't know where you wanted to start.
I mean, we can kind of start at the beginning. To be honestly, I really did like the fact that it started where it left off.
Exactly. Like, legit.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Nicole's here. Hey, Nicole.
She did a very good job, Nicole.
And then Liz, I had issues with my Kindle audio problems, so I only made it to 357. Okay. This is true. Now, I will say, both Alicia and I did the audiobook, and we have issues.
I like immersion read. I physically read and did the audio, and the audio was not the way.
Like, I've listened to the audiobooks. I did a reread of the first two, and I don't know, maybe I've tried to slow down the speed. There we go.
I had it at 1.5.
See, I had it at like 1.7 because I'm trying to like slow it down and pay attention more. Yeah. When I was rereading them, I feel like it took forever to get places. And so by the time I got to this book, it seemed consistent. Like, it took a long time to get to where we needed to go. Like, yes, there was action here and there, but I never felt like it was
action and action.
Yeah. Because we got some action. Probably boosted Nicole's view. I'm just going to say, ooh. Here we go. She did not speak fast. Oh, maybe she did. What?
No, and it's just I guess it's because I'm Italian. The way she said certain things, I was so angry. Like, that's not how you say it.
Like, she didn't say basil.
No,
or basil.
And the way she would, like, and then hi, Erin. And then the accent would just go in and out, and I'm like, if this person's Italian and actually from Sicily, the accent doesn't disappear.
I mean, technically they weren't from Sicily.
Yeah, like that was before we found that part out. That's another thing I have to pick your brain on, because you know more about this series than I do.
Do I?
I was so confused by the whole constantly needing to say my twin.
Oh yeah, I don't know what that was about.
Like, just call her name. And how many times? I'm sorry, Liz, I don't mean to spoil, but how many times when they find out that they are the goddesses of death and fury, did she have to say, I'm the goddess of fury? Like, we get it.
Yeah. Although,
it was... Stop.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, that was one thing that I didn't necessarily love, like, everyone had an alternate name, like, every time she called Ras Samael, I was like, "No, that's not his name."
They all did, though, they all had, 3 different names, I'm like, which one are we talking about now?
Yeah!
I'm so confused.
It was bothering me. Yeah, that bothered me as well, so and I get it, yeah, she did repeat it a lot of times.
One name, they've had this one name for 2.5 books, stop it.
Yeah, I couldn't believe she did the you-know-whats in the gondola, like, that was And then Lust was there, and she just seemed to be okay with that, I was like,
And
"Pretty
how he was just
sure."
standing there watching them, I'm like, "Ew."
No.
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 I understand he's Lust, but ew.
Oh, yeah, and that I mean, I guess I kinda I don't know if I'm a prude, maybe that's what it is, where I'm just like, "Please don't do all of this stuff in public, like, no, thank you." It would not have Aaron. I think you would have rage read it, and, like, you would have given it,
I would have
like, a
loved to get a
negative
beat by
5.
beat, though, you rage reading it, though. I will
I
happily watch you rage read it just for the content.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine some of his tweets on this book? Just
Oh
don't
my
at
God, it would
Kerri
be great.
Maniscalco, but if you do decide to
Not
do that,
granted, of course, but, it would be great.
I would love to be a part of that reread. And that's one thing that I feel like I wish I had physically read this, because yeah, I think the
Me too.
audiobook definitely hindered my rating.
The audiobook, the very, soap opera-y ending of every chapter, I was like, "Dun, dun, dun!" I'm just like, "Enough." How many people can you magically bring back and be like, "This person, dun, dun, dun!"
Yeah.
I'm just like, start another chapter, you're like, "Wait, what?"
You're almost kind of expecting, like, towards the end of the chapter, like, "Okay, how is this cliffhanger gonna leave off? Can I get to the next chapter? Should I wait for the next chapter?"
Can I get to the next chapter without wondering who 10...
True. I mean, could you not? It's hard to say.
I know you're not, but it would be funny. It would be really funny.
It would. And then, she got her back. Yeah, she did. I was very upset with Amelia. Like, immediately she goes and kills a bunch of witches. I'm assuming that was what the fire was for, the smoky
And
smell.
then
I
the
was just like,
grandmother, I was like,
yeah, telling her like, "Oh yeah, this lady raised me, but I'm really upset at her." But then like she cares about her, but she tells her to run, and I was like, "Okay, make up your mind about how you feel about everybody, okay? Because it's too much whiplash. I can't handle this."
it did make like that. I mean, I had a problem with that too, but I understood the emotion switch, because
Yeah,
when someone that close to you betrays you, it's
betrays you.
tough.
True.
But it was just like, okay, can you either call her the evil witch or your Nona? Can we decide on which one you want to call her? Because I'm confused.
Yeah, agreed. Nicole.
And it was just all this, and it was all about the fact of her getting her power that irked me. I'm like, get it. You're the most powerful person in the world. Do something.
I was gonna be so happy. I was almost ready to write a note to myself and I'm so happy that she didn't get her powers back in the end. And then what happens? He shares his powers. I was like, sir, don't. She doesn't need it. She's fine. You love her without him. Perfect. It's something different. It's something new. No, it didn't happen.
There's just certain things that just made me so mad. The accent in the audiobook pissed me off so much. And it's so minute that people wouldn't normally recognize, but it made me so mad. I'm like, that's not how you say that.
Yeah, true. Oh, man. Yeah.
The
I'm trying to think.
multiple names, and I was more interested in all the rest of the sins. I didn't care what wrath. I was like, can we go like, hang out with Lust or Pride? He sounds like more fun.
I really wanna get more on Envy. He sounded pretty
Right.
awesome, like, he had this whole I felt bad that he got captured by, Vittoria at that one point. I felt bad
Yeah.
for what's his name? Antonio? Is that the guy's name where she, like,
The guy,
ripped out his heart?
the wolf guy. Yeah.
No,
No,
that's
Antonio,
Domenico.
the one that she killed in the beginning
Mhm.
when they were in the prison, and
Yeah.
then Domenico was the wolf guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It took
Who
way too long to figure
That
out.
was
Well,
the
I
other thing. The accent kept on switching in Domenico, and it was making me really angry.
Yeah. Well, and then she, like, turned on her sister immediately after she found all these things, and then it was very back and forth, and that was really starting to bother me. I'll give you guys that much. Aaron says, "I'm glad the man the end." Yeah. True. Like that was why I was really hoping that he would just accept her without it. Like she did this great
That would be
sacrifice.
a nice twist. I would have been like, "Thank you."
Yeah, that's why I was getting ready to write it. And then as soon as like it kept going in that last chapter, I was like, he's gonna give her half his powers. How dare you, sir? She don't need you. And then I had another theory at one point. I thought that like she would magically come back into her powers. Like part of the curse was going to be that she had to give up her powers, but in doing so, it would prove her amazingness, and then the universe would just give them back to her. I don't know why I thought that that was going to be a great idea, but that's where my brain went.
It would have been better than how it actually ended.
Yeah. I wanted an epilogue too, and I did not like the fact that, like, I think it was in the last chapter or second to last chapter where they were like, "Yeah, one of my favorite things is knowing what happens afterwards," and we don't even get a freaking epilogue.
Well, in my copy, because I have the Barnes and Noble copy, it gives me a chapter from Envy's point of view. I haven't read it yet,
Oh, me
but it gives
either.
me a chapter from Envy's point of view. I
Yeah,
don't
I've
know
got a
the chapter,
oh, go ahead.
so it is the Barnes and Noble one if you want to check it out. It's in the
That one. This
yeah,
first
you
one right
have all
here.
the editions, so I know you have it somewhere.
Yeah, so I was like, I've got this special oh my god, I keep doing that. This special edition here, the Walmart one had something in it. I'm
Walmart
not
had
sure
a
if the
special
UK
edition.
one did. Huh?
The Walmart one had a special edition.
Yeah, there's bonus content. Let's see if we can figure out what this bonus content is, because I didn't have a
I'll tell
chance
you
to
what the
read it
bonus
either.
content in here is.
Let's see. Let's it looks like handwritten stuff. I know that.
House
Nicole,
Envy, and it's a chapter from House Envy's point of view.
ooh, this one has a bonus chapter from Raph's point of view with handwritten behind the scenes notes on the Demon Princess from the author. Okay. So yeah, two different. To answer your question, Liz, I just kind of read it this side of my eye. It is different bonus content. I don't know if it's the same chapter from Envy's and then from Raph's point of view.
Maybe. I mean, I can read it and then just message you and be like, "This is what happened."
Yeah, this is also true. So currently I only have 3, but I do have 5 total
I
because
thought
I
I was.
can't not get the bookish box and the Fairy Loot editions because they have like the pretty end papers, the reversible covers. They've got the stenciled edges.
I learned how to stencil, so I think I'm going to stencil my own edges.
I'm jealous. I love watching those videos. Tangent
Mm-hmm.
of the lady where she like
We made it 15 minutes without a tangent. Okay, we're doing pretty good.
I think we're doing fantastic then, yeah. It's oh gosh, everyone's gonna know who I'm talking about. She's got blonde hair, I think it's curly, and she usually puts like scrunches the books together, and she does like this whole like scene, like she did the Lord of the Rings. I recently saw one with Hagrid, and
I
they're
would
just
love to
like
do Lord of the Rings ones.
stunning. So I think she may have done that one. I have no shelf control.
Well, that's how we all became friends, though.
This is also true. This is also true.
Like, honestly.
Multiple Barnes. Oh no. I mean, now that you have so if you had the Walmart one and the Barnes& and Noble, you have the bonus content for both.
For both.
I think some of the other special editions also have, like, different content, and I meant to post it, but I wasn't sure that many people actually cared. like the pre-order stuff way in the beginning, like if you showed proof of purchase, you could get like free content
Your
and they were going
receipt.
to email it to you.
Yeah.
Um, so there's different content that way, and I haven't
I
looked at
got it
that.
when I pre-ordered the third book in the Poppy War series.
There you go. Always got to look for that free stuff.
Yeah. But I
I
did
gotta
have a couple questions because you're like a
sure.
bigger fan of like I could pick these books apart and I feel bad. Because I love the premise. I just don't understand why it goes the way it goes.
Yeah, or how long it is. I started to notice that as well. And again, I think this goes back to the audiobook. Like I was
Uh,
doing dishes multiple times or cooking or doing something and I thought I would have gotten through like 5 hours of the audiobook.
and I got through one chapter and it was a half an hour.
I
I
was like,
was
"What's
like,
happening, man?"
wait, what? The
Yeah, so I
audiobook.
definitely if I end up rereading this, I feel like I'm going to physically read it and I feel
Yeah.
like that's going to improve my rating potentially, maybe. I'll let you guys know.
Well, I
Um,
did like the like I don't know what you would call it. The like it's not bonus material, but how they had like the invitations actually written out or the grimoire
yeah.
pieces written out. And I was like, oh, I like that. And the
Yeah.
one part I did like about the audiobook was first couple chapters in the audiobook that isn't really a chapter. They kind of do like a what's
The
the right
soundtrack in the background.
the soundtrack in the background,
Yeah.
and then they did like it kind of got you up to speed if it's been a while since you've read the books. The
Yeah.
first couple chapters in the audiobook were catching you up, so to speak.
Yeah, and they did that in the second one too, because I remember reading it and I was like, "What is this magical, like, intro?" Because it gives you a little recap on, like, the important things that happen,
Not
so
a big recap where it takes up a huge chunk. It's like maybe 20 minutes of like just here's what happened.
yeah. You know what? A book that does that really well, it's oh gosh, I think it's by Jay Kristoff. It's like the Aurora Rising ones where, like,
Yeah.
literally the first 2 pages, it's like, "Here's what you need to remember from the last time,"
See,
and I
I
was
wish
like,
a lot of
"Thank
other ones
you."
did that, especially when they're a year or two apart from releasing each
Mhm.
book.
Yeah. Audio for me too, yep. Mhm.
So, Liz, what did you think of the audio? Because we obviously didn't like it. I'm curious about.
I mean, I didn't hate it, but I will say that I did notice a lot more, and maybe that's just because you had, like, read ahead of it
I
and were
didn't mean
telling
to
me,
like
so
point it out. I was just like, this is really annoying me.
I picked up on that, and I was like, "I see that. I do." Whereas a lot of times, I'm just like, "Ooh." Remember the first few of them? They're like, "I saw that coming from a mile away." I was like, "I had no idea, like,
Well,
this is
I think a
brand new
lot of it too is
information."
like I grew up Catholic. So
Mm,
like a lot of especially Italian Catholic, like a lot of this is bringing back from like that form of religion.
that'd be great.
That
That's awesome. You're French, Liz? That's super cool. Or do you just know French? Tell us more.
it just bothered me how it was like one sentence was like in an Italian accent. And coming
Mhm.
from an Italian family, I'm used to that accent
Yeah.
all the time. And you just don't drop it.
Well, and I think Kerri Maniscalco, it does have Italian roots, but she's
Yes,
also not the narrator, so
right.
ooh.
And it's just like, but when you're and this is just a gripe in general, but when you're doing a book about certain type of folklore, Italian or otherwise,
Yeah.
ask them how to pronounce stuff. Like even
Yeah.
if it's the author, like ask the author or do your own research. It irks me so much.
Well, and that
I'm
could also
sorry, I
come
don't mean to get
down
on like a high horse, but it bothers me.
you're good. Well, because it thinks in my like, I don't know if anyone's ever seen this video. I used to be, I kinda still am, like, a huge Benedict Cumberbatch fan, and his
How
use of the
can you
word
not be?
penguin. Have you ever seen that video from the Norton show?
I, lo-
Penguin.
I love that man.
He is 100% accurate. There are multiple people, like, producing this. Someone could stop her and be like, "Listen, to Nicole's point, if she sounded Spanish, stop her
Right.
and be like, "Listen, you're going a little bit more Espanol. I'm gonna need you to go a little more Ital." I can't not
Like she
my
got some words right. Like she said bambina correctly. That's how you
oh,
say it.
yeah.
But like it was like I don't know if someone coached her with certain words and didn't coach her with other ones because it was like that's not how you say that.
Like,
Like
"I'm gonna need you to update your resume." It
the part I really did like, and maybe this is because it's a snippet from the first one, and this is the part I really did like in the first one. they brought back the cooking.
Yes.
Like,
Oh
the
my
cooking
gosh.
was the best part of the first book for me, like, because it's a lot of stuff my grandmother makes with I make with my grandmother.
I
So it's
loved
like,
it towards the end because I was physically reading and she was talking about like I put the blunt end of it in my mouth. And so all of us, our minds are just like, oh,
and
we
it
get
said it's
another one.
cannoli,
And then
it's
she was
cannoli
like,
filling.
the cannoli. And I go, oh dang, I wouldn't.
Well, if
That
it,
was my bad.
I have to agree with her there. If it's made correctly, it can make you say some stuff.
Yeah, exactly. There are people there that should have stopped her, or
Thank you.
even
I'm just happy it's not just me. Okay.
no. I
I
feel like
was just,
also the author should have listened to it and been like, okay, that's not accurate. Um,
or
uh,
if not the author, like someone who knows the language, and so much can be, especially with Italian, especially with the Romance languages. And
mhm,
this can back me up. There's so much that can be said in the tone of how you say something that it
exactly.
can mean something else if you say it a certain way.
Yeah.
And it just it bothered me and it took me out of the book. I'm just like, this is annoying.
And that's what Liz was saying here, like, it's not the author's intention, the author never wants you to be taken out of an audiobook by the narrator,
No,
and that's so
yeah,
true,
absolutely.
and I feel like that happened in this
And I'm not
book.
blaming her at all. It's just something I've noticed because I grew up in an Italian family. It's very
True.
in my normal way of working.
Nicole's mind went there. I did like that this one was a little bit spicier, although and here's my gripe with the spice on this one, I feel like sometimes I felt like it was just put in there to add filler.
Well, I feel like it was put in there because there was none of it in the
Yes.
first two. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
there were sexy scenes, but it never went anywhere.
Yeah.
He might
Ha
have done something to her or she did something to him, but like it was never full on.
yeah. How did we feel about him taking the potion, to dull his emotions? To not love her so that she wouldn't be taken away from him. I thought that was kinda cute. I was just like,
I
"Oh."
understood. I can understand why she was frustrated by it, but I understood. Like it was one of those things I get both sides.
Yeah. I was sad that he did that, but at the same time, I'm like, "Okay, I think he's trying to keep her around longer,
But
because"
also not telling her that like
true. Tell her all these things.
they've been together for. Did it actually say how long they were together before she got taken away? Because I don't remember that.
I think it was a while.
Yeah, like,
Like,
but
she
how do
was
you like? And that's the other gripe I have with this is the fake Sicily for the Isles, and I'm like, but why? Like, you're making it complicated to not to make it a plot point, and it doesn't.
yeah. I did kind of like that it was different. Like, it wasn't the place that you expected it to be, but then
Yeah,
now my mind is just like, "Okay, so all of this
all
literally
is
took place in
questionable.
hell."
Yeah,
So,
which I kind of understand with how the grandmother was acting. I'm sorry.
yeah. No.
The grandmother's betrayal pissed me off more than the mother.
It did. I was just gonna say that. I was so
I
upset.
was
I
like,
was just
it's
like,
your
"Okay,
grandmother
Nona,"
though.
like,
Like, no, that's not okay.
and I feel like that was left so unresolved. Like, I want so much more information as to what like, okay, it wasn't Claudia. Who was Claudia's aunt or whoever, like, woke up out of her little spell and, like, was now not all hearing the crazy voices or something. Um,
What was her name?
I can't remember her name,
I
but,
know
like, she
exactly who you're talking about. They called her the crazy lady in the first one.
yeah, like, she had woken up, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, there's gonna be this huge thing," and they were talking about when they were in the Sin corridor, and she was getting her coronation and everything, that
Right.
the witches were probably gonna do something. There was nothing with the witches. I feel like I guess it does set
There
up
was
for,
too
like,
much
a
telling and
spin-off.
not showing.
Yeah, and that might be, like I follow her on Instagram because yes, I am a fan. Um, so she has this super secret project going. I'm not sure if her super secret project is gonna have to do with Pride and those, as well as, like, the witches story, because I could see this going
I was
on, like, a
really like,
spin-off.
but I like witches, so like, give me all the witches, and I'm happy. Like,
Yeah.
I was more interested in Pride. Like, like you could tell he still loved his wife, even though he didn't know where she was.
True,
And
true.
how did he not figure out that that was the friend? Like,
Wait, say that again?
how much dirt did they have on this woman, Amelia? Which I have to say, I have a gripe with how they spell Amelia in the book because it's spelled with an E, and it irks the crap out of me. But
Oh,
anyway,
no.
like,
We are talking about
no,
the first
like you say it with an A, but it's an E. I don't,
yeah.
whatever. but like the friend, like, and she's like, well, I know I love someone in the past. I'm like,
All
well,
the
you
dreams that
wanna,
she's had? Yeah.
I was like,
So, yes, Liz, to answer your question. Took me a second because I was like, "Wait a minute, are we?"
yeah, yeah. The first or the second, because they've been married like twice in the past, I think,
I
from what
don't
I
know if
can
they
tell.
ever got married. I think they were just, like, a couple, and then because she was so feared by everyone, she didn't have that happiness. So I do kind of like that sense of it, like, she gained her humanity in that time frame,
Right.
because she did bring a portion of it back with her, and I know that she kind of had that struggle, which I wish there was slightly more of a struggle because it seemed like she was as soon as she got her, like, true self back, she was
She
immediately
was
just
she
there.
was ready to burden everything down.
Yeah. I was just like, "How about you have a little bit of
And I'm
conflict?"
sorry, no man is that good to burn shit down for.
I mean,
Like,
they had a
no.
love that defined the ages.
Oh, please.
It would have unfrozen hell.
But I felt more conflict from the other brothers. Like Pride wanted to,
Mm,
what was the first witch's name? I can't remember now.
I can't remember.
But like
No, it
when
was
the
Cersei.
Cersei, and it wasn't spelled the way I thought it was spelled when
Nope.
I looked in the book. I'm like,
I
no.
picked up the book and
I
started
was
reading. I was
thinking
like, "What's this
Like
word?"
Cersei, like in the Iliad, Cersei.
Yeah.
Like that's not how. Okay, but anyway, um,
Yeah.
but like the fact that he wanted to like punch her, even though she
Mhm.
was in ice at some point. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a
Totally.
real emotion. She took away your wife. Like
Yeah.
I
This is why
understand that, but we would get a couple scenes with everybody else, and I'm like, "Ooh, I'm back in it." And then that we would
yeah.
turn, and then we would be back with like Wrath and Amelia, and I was like, "I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care."
Well,
Like,
because their story seems, like, pretty stagnant, and it was only when that we added in, like, different, princes that we kind of got, like, a little bit more depth, I felt.
even if it was just short stories, like telling their like, I'm curious about. I think it's Envy has a picture of himself like hanging above his bed. I want to know more about that. Like,
Yeah.
how like full of yourself do you have to be to have a picture of yourself above your bed, supposedly naked?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like I don't know. And I'm curious about the relationship between Victoria and Envy because there was something there and they never.
I want so much more on Envy. I kind of want to
I
figure
just
out.
wanted. I wanted this to be about Envy because I liked him as a person.
He was so nice, and I also what was it? I think it
And he
was
was
Gluttony.
snarky. Like I
Yeah.
liked that he was funny and like he was like, "Well, we can't be friends," and blah 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 blah. And like, I like you.
Liz, I did like Wrath and Amelia, just this Wrath and Victoria. Okay, I was like, I did like them. It's just,
It was just too
Victoria and
much.
Pride. Yeah. I feel like we were trying to put too much in it at certain points without fleshing that out, and then I
I
think
feel
we
like
mentioned it earlier, it was
10-pound story in an 8-pound bag of plot.
yeah.
Like it was too much trying to be shoved into what this was.
Yeah, agreed.
If that makes any sense.
It does. Yes. Um, but you said you had some Post-it notes and you had some questions. Let's go.
Yes. I want
I'm
I
ready.
want
I've got
I'm
my trusty liquid, um,
helper.
courage. It's Moscato, so it's not that much. It's basically grape juice, so
And I wanted this the whole thing about the Domenico and Victoria. Like were they
mhm.
together or was he just her lapdog for lack of a better term?
I think the impression that I got was that they were an item, but, like, loosely defined as an item, like a friends with benefits type situation.
That's
Because
what
she
I was
did
thinking, but I wasn't sure if my brain was just too far in the gutter to be like
nope, that was accurate. Um, hey,
Sure.
Shay.
I love.
Um,
I hope you're feeling better.
yeah, I got the impression because I think it was the second to last chapter where she was just like, "I'm immortal. I'm gonna live forever." She
He's
was
gonna
at
die.
least nice enough at that point where she was just like, "I want him to settle down with someone and have that life with someone he can grow old with." And I'm like, "See, you're not a total bitch."
I wanted I feel like the bitchiness was a mask, so to speak,
Oh,
to not let people in.
I like that because I was gonna say I did not like how fast she flipped. Like she was back flip floppy between
I'm
like the
sorry
first
if
book.
my sister talks to me like she talked to her in this book. I'd be like, screw
Yeah,
you.
you're dead to me. I'm literally you're on my
Like,
shit. They want to kill you. All right,
and then
fine.
telling me that I choose love like over like that was another small gripe I had. Like they were too power hungry.
Yeah.
Like it was like I want to be the like I'm like if she kept on saying I'm Fury one more freaking time, I was gonna lose my mind. I was like, stop it. Um, I did like how after they officially had sex, because the
Mhm.
first time she got like magicked away in her brain, I think,
Yeah.
or her
I don't
heart
think
got
that they had gone through with the act
no,
yet.
but it was literally like the first scene, the last scene of the second book was, and she literally picked up from that,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I appreciated.
Sure. Oh,
I'm sorry, like I'm sorry, but if someone talked to me, even if it was pretend in her head,
yeah.
I'd be like,
It would take a
screw
lot for
you.
me to forgive.
Like, no. And it was
Yeah.
just like, and then like I wanted more on the like going back, like because they did talk about 20 years ago. Like
Yeah.
I'm more interested about what happened back then to
I
make
would
it to
like
the point where they're at.
yeah, like a prequel because I feel like that was not explained as much because
Even
all of
if
a sudden
it's a short story, like I just want
yeah,
more of that.
because I feel like we got pieces here and there, and then in my mind, not all of those pieces added up, and I was just like, "Wait a minute, didn't you say X, Y, and Z, and now you're saying it's Q, R, and P? Like, that
That's
doesn't make
what I
any
was so
sense."
confused. I'm like, I'm physically reading it and listening to the audiobook. What am I not understanding?
Yeah.
Like the whole like how like she was in chains in her head or spirited away or
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
And then like that's how her sister would talk to her. I'm like,
Mhm.
can you wait till I have clothes on so I'm not naked?
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like come
Exactly.
on.
And I
And
know we
then
talked about oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I know we talked about this in the a few lives previously about how, oh my god, my thought just like literally evaporated from my brain.
It happens to me all the time. You're fine.
I don't because we talked about it in the first few books too, and now I'm just like, what was it? What was it? All right, you keep going with your thought because mine will eventually come back to me.
The whole thing of like her getting magicked away randomly, like, just, but she wouldn't disappear. Her body would be there, but she wouldn't be there. It
Right.
was just
I remember what it was. She was stupid in the first book. She didn't have two pieces, like two brain cells to rub together. And I was just like, you guys are being way too harsh. Like she's not that dumb. And then like in this book, she heard someone's voice without even thinking about it. I was like, oh, this dude in this dream is probably Domenico. Oh, there's a little kid in the crib. That's probably Domenico Jr. And she doesn't get it for like 10 chapters. I go, girl, you recognize that voice. I mean, I guess I'm not in your stressful situation. I'm reading it from the outside, but
but come
also,
on. 1 + 2 = 3.
and I can't give the excuse that she's only 19 because honestly,
She's like
she's been
hundreds and
alive for
hundreds of years
years.
old.
She's a million years old.
Like I
I
just
did like how it ended in chains. I'm just gonna say that.
yeah. I just can't. And it was just like the whole thing of then all of a sudden she had the power to take out people's hearts, the sister,
Yeah.
and I'm just like,
Well, I mean,
but
that's
why?
her. That's as her goddess. That's her power. She can just
Yeah, I'm just like, but
rip it
why?
out.
I don't know. It's just the whole thing
Cool.
was weird, and how all of a sudden they got more tattoos the minute they had sex. I was like,
Because they had to have their little ring ceremony.
and it was the tattoo, of course.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay. I was just like, I don't know. It just it was a lot.
It was
It
a
was a
lot.
but it was a lot of like threads that I wanted the answer to. Like I
Yeah.
wanted the answer, more of the answer to. I forget what her name was in the book. The murdered. The murdered. Was
Sister?
she a witch? in the beginning? The one that was found dead that they thought Victoria killed. That
Oh,
ended up being
it
the
was the
wolf guy's
werewolf.
sister.
It
Yeah.
was something with a V. Vista, Vida,
Vinyanya or something like that.
something like that. Um, yeah. But then he's still holding back. He doesn't want to complete everything because he doesn't want his love ripped away because he wants his wings.
The wing thing just stupid.
Sometimes I got some Sarah J. Maas vibes from this. Did anybody
Yes!
else get that? Okay, thank you.
And I'm not a huge fan of Sarah J. Maas. I'm sorry.
Oh, Nicole has us. She fact checks us. Vesna.
Thank you.
I was close.
There are so many. Okay. There are so many damn names in this book. I can't remember who's who. And
Well,
I even had post-its in a whole post-it saying who's who, and I'm so confused.
I need to get better about, especially if in February I'm supposed to take over. I'm gonna need to like literally make a list and like a family tree for each.
You know what I do.
review.
You know what I do. Even if you don't like, if you're not by a computer or your phone or something, I put like one of those big post-its, like a big normal size post-it,
Oh yeah,
and I put who's who in the front page of the book.
I need to do that. Oh no.
I'm not a fan. I tried.
What have you read? I'm curious.
I tried Court of whatever the first one is.
Oh, Court of Thorns Roses. You got to get past that one. That one's garbage once you get to the second one.
I was like, first off, she's supposed to be a Belle character and she can't read.
Yeah.
and like the guy she's supposed to fall for is like an asshole. I'm just like, no.
I mean, there are reasons for it. I will tell you, and Nicole will be the first. She's got screenshots where I was like, I was in love with the guy in the first book. I was like, this guy is the greatest thing under the sun. And she's just like, just wait for the second book. You got to get to chapter like 52. And then you'll realize like you'll have information. And once you get to chapter 55, you'll have all the answers. And so like literally I finished 52. I read through 54. I got to 55 and I'm just like, absolutely. Like, I don't think this guy is good. I think this is like a whole like trick. She's going to wake up somehow and it's all going to be like magically different. No, I was way
that's
out
honestly that's what I felt with this one because every chapter ending was like dun dun dun. I was like, she's gonna wake up from a dream and then her sister's gonna walk in with her Nona and she's gonna be fine.
Yeah,
like that's how I felt like this was gonna end. I was like, okay, what are we doing?
I think she even mentioned it too in one of the chapters when she had gone back to the Shifting Isles, Sicily, whatever, where she at one point was
on that. All the stuff I found interesting, there wasn't enough time in it. Like, there was too much time in the stuff that I just didn't
care about. Yeah, Tamlin's the guy in the first book.
Yeah.
Rhysand's where it's at. It's all
I'm
about
sorry, but like I'm not into like I can read alpha holes, but like I don't want to date an alpha hole in real life. Like
true. Then get to book 2 and then you'll realize that she dumps the alpha hole and goes to the guy that actually respects her.
And then like the 7th one is what 800 pages. Like you rolled it up in like
that's a different series.
And I'm like, that looks like it'll hurt. I'm not that up.
Oh no, that is the same one. That's the 4th one you're talking about. Yeah.
No,
I actually had to reread it because I thought it was all a trick and I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought.
I'm having such a hard time with like favorites. Like I try to reread favorites and I'm like, I wish I didn't because now I hate it.
Yeah. It might be a YA feature. I do feel like you get a lot more cliffhangers. Like you get a few of them in some more of the adulty books, but they like sprinkle them out in the right spots.
Honestly, I wish this was adult because then she could have gone further. And I'm not just talking about the sexy times. That would have been appreciated.
Yeah.
But she could have gone further. Yeah. I feel like YA is limiting because of the age range you're going for.
Nicole has some strong opinions. Book 4.
Well, I'm not a huge Sarah J. Maas fan, so you won't offend me. Like
that's okay.
I agree with Charles on this one, I guess.
I need to reread the Crescent City books. I recently bought.
My friend boxered me about the second one, and he's mad.
Mad that it ended, or mad like about what happened?
He was just like, "Why did it take 800 pages to get that?" I'm just like, I don't know. I didn't read it.
Good question. That's the question we ask ourselves anymore. When a book is that long, like make sure it's like worth the journey. Otherwise, don't waste my
Make
time.
it a standalone if it's that freaking long.
Exactly. Okay, I feel really bad. We keep talking about Post-it notes and we never get to them. Ah,
No, it's fine.
I
We're
can't
in
believe
no
we talked
rush.
about the book this long. Like, Alicia, high five us. I'm so proud. We've had
Half of
very few
it to me
tangents. We've been
bitching
going
about
for 40 minutes.
it. The weird chapter where they like bring back the mother. I'm so confused why.
Oh, the crone.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't. But like, they don't do anything with it. They make it a dun dun dun, and then switch to a chapter, and then nothing is done. And I'm like, but why?
I feel like we missed a lot with the witches in this one. And maybe it was something that the editor asked her to take out, and maybe she has a more fleshed out version where there's
Yeah.
more happening with the witches. I would hope so, because I agree with you.
Look,
I feel like
that's
a
the
lot
part
of
I wanted more of. Like, I was like, give that to me. Like, give me the. And I wanted to love these books because there's not many books focusing on Italian folklore, especially Italian witch
right.
folklore. And
Yeah.
like, I was like, I wanted that so bad, and then it gives you like
Nothing.
an essence of it, and that's it. And I'm just like, but I
A
want
little sprinkle of it.
like as my one friend calls it, the LaCroix of books. Like it gives you the essence of it, but not enough of what actually is
I
the
was like,
book.
I need more than just the essence. All right. Give me the whole damn pie. All
I
right. Come on.
you sold the book to me like this, and it's not in here. Like I
Yeah.
don't understand.
No, I agree with that. I feel like and then also, like, I feel like there's more going on with the werewolves and the vampires, and those were very quickly glossed over. Like,
I
they were
wanted
there for
that.
a second and then it's gone.
That was the whole thing. Like I wanted more on what happened to the sister. She got the vision of what happened, where the sister ended up in the bag
Yeah.
as the wolf, and then spirited away. Like it was like, but
True.
I want to know what happened that the father gambled get away. That was interesting.
Things to look for as we go. Maybe. I mean, I really would have loved that, like just a little extra, because it's not something that
Yeah.
you see very often, or at least in the books that I've read, because I just don't
I
search
mean,
them
like
out.
you see like Greek folklore and like
Hmm.
Roman folklore, where you never see like Italian
Italian.
or French or like I like that's me all day. Like give me
Yeah,
that stuff. Like I'm like give me.
I'm here
I
for
want
that.
to see her like source material and be like, can I read that?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
maybe.
I'm curious what her source material is.
That's a good question. I feel like she might have had something on her Instagram. I'll try to look through it for you so you don't have to do that.
She seems lovely. Like honestly,
She
like
has
I have no
cats.
problem with her. It's just yeah.
No, I said she has cats.
Oh, is she a cat lady?
She does. Um, but yeah, she does post a few things every now and then, so
I'm really interested to the point of like wanting to see where she pulled this from,
yeah.
just out of curiosity.
I wonder if that's in the bonus content. If I
And
find out,
like
I'll
the
have to let you know.
grimoires and the what the hell's the name of the necklace? That they took away from them in the first book. The necklace that they both wore?
Oh, the cornicello.
Yes, thank you. Because I've heard that term like as a kid and I never knew
Really?
what it was.
That was the first time I'd ever heard of it. I was like, sure,
Like
she
I was
probably
like,
made up a word,
I
but I'm here
actually
for
know
it.
what that means. Like that was the first time in the book that I'm like, I know what that is. But it
You
was kind of
should.
cool to see that, like stuff you would hear like my great grandparents say, or my grandmother sometimes. And it's just like you don't
Yeah.
normally see that stuff in a book, and I was like really excited for it, and I was hoping for more.
Nice little
Give me the
Easter egg.
werewolves. Give me the and she skimmed over vampires. I want to know about vampires,
He had the
vampires and werewolves. Give it to me.
Yep. They had that one chapter where they were in the throne room, but I feel like she took more time to describe the throne room and the thrones than she did
Yes.
doing anything else.
Or how
Oh.
how she blew up in fury and basically fired the whole room, and but no one got hurt.
Ooh. Might have to look that up. Straight on No, no. What are you doing in another book? That's not okay.
I'm definitely gonna Google that afterwards. Thank you,
Yeah.
because I love this stuff. Like, give me good Italian folklore all day. That's why I was like, that's why I think I love the first one, because there was more of that in the first
There
one.
was.
There
Yeah.
was folklore, and then they connected it to cooking, and I'm like, my grandmother's a great cook, and she's trying to slowly teach me how to cook. I mean, I know how to cook, but like I don't know her stuff. Like she
Right.
doesn't write any of her recipes down. So I'm like trying to get her now. I'm like, what is in this? Like tell
She's
me
the
what.
magical one that just can whip it up from memory. I would love to
And
be
I'm
able to
so
do that.
jealous because it always tastes good, and then I try it and it doesn't turn
I
out
can
right
measure it
when
out
I try to make
exactly,
it.
but nope. The measurement with the heart is where it's at. I have a friend that I was making something and she was like, "Put vanilla extract in it." I was like, "Okay, how much?" And she was just like, "You measure that with your heart, not with the measuring spoon." I go,
She sounds like my grandmother. She's like, you put the
"Okay."
love in it. You put the love in it.
Yeah. So maybe we just have to figure out what our
Our
heart's
love
desire
languages,
is.
I guess.
1,200 pages. Oh my gosh.
I'm in
I'm
though.
not sure I'm that we would have to take a month and read
I
like
would have to read it
400 pages.
slowly, but I'm
Yeah.
totally in to read it. Absolutely.
It's
If you know where I can find it.
on Amazon. Oh, that's what it is in Am You know what? It could be an ebook. Sometimes those ebooks are like a Kindle
Those
Unlimited. You'll
ebooks make it look like it's more pages than they actually are sometimes.
True, this is also true. Does it have pictures? I'm real good with pictures. I like them illustrated editions.
Like that's what I wanted. I wanted like more food and like that's what made me like when she made the white bean paste that she put on toast. Like that's a very Italian thing. That's normal.
Oh,
And I was
really?
like,
Okay.
I have not had that since I was like a teenager. And I was like,
Oh,
she really knows her stuff when it comes to cooking because that's old school.
I have to write down that name. That's the author. Tower.
I will take a screenshot and I will definitely leave the
I'll
name for
keep it
that
up for you.
later.
Should I go like this? Oh my god, I'm gonna have to remember how to say all that. Ah! We'll get there towards the end. I'm already trying to think in my mind, being like, thank all the people that are watching currently, thank all the people that are watching on the
Watching in
replay.
the
We've got
future,
this. I'm trying to remember everything. I'm not
you're
great
doing
at
a
being
good job.
Nicole.
You don't have to worry.
I'm honestly surprised that we've talked about it this long because I didn't think I'd
I
have
was
that
ready
many
to.
thoughts.
I was. Well, you've been getting my messages as I've been reading it. I was ready to like you to be like so like in love with it, and me just be like,
Nah.
like
No, but
I
like
was so.
the things that you were complaining about, like as I was reading them, and maybe that's why I was just like, oh, I can see all of this too.
And it was.
So I
They're such little things, but when it's a 400-page book, you notice it, and you're just like, it
You
keeps on
do.
happening. Stop it.
So I think if I'll wait a couple months, but I will end up rereading this one. And I'm gonna sit and physically read it rather than do the audiobook. 'Cause I think
I
the
think
audiobook
I'm gonna give these to my grandmother and let her read them and tell me like, because she knows more about like the folklore and stuff like that, and be like, was this legit with the folklore? Tell
oh,
me.
that'd be cool. And that's a
You
great
know,
little
like,
bonding thing for
tell
you
me.
as well.
Yeah,
That would
I
be
love.
so cool.
Yeah.
Did you need that name again? Do you want me to put it back?
Oh no, I'll just snap a picture before we head
Go
off.
away. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
So I don't misspell anything because knowing my brain, I'll just misspell it.
I probably would too. I'm glad I read it. I wish. Yeah.
But
And
that's what I think
mhm.
frustrates me the most is I like where she was going.
Yeah.
It's just she focused on the things that I wasn't interested in.
Yes. And then yeah, and then it
And
felt like
that's the thing. That's not the me thing.
and
That's
that
the
and
me
I
thing.
recognize that as well for mine, and I just feel like once we got towards the end, it was like we spent so much time, like, building up all of this other stuff, and then it was just like, "Here we are, here's the end," and I was like,
Again, it was
"Whoa."
all just rushed because she probably had a page limit because of YA can't be super
Yeah, it'd be
long.
so many pages.
Yeah.
So I do agree, I think if it had been adult, she might have been able to flesh out a few more of them.
I wish, and it's not the sex scenes would have been better probably, but it's not just for the sex scenes. I wanted more. I wanted more, and I
Mhm.
feel like it was limiting because it ended up falling into a YA age bracket. And I'm not saying YA is
Right.
bad. I like reading YA, but like
As long
I
as there's
don't
not
know.
too much drama. I've started sometimes I read YA and I'm just like, "Oh my god," like,
The
there are
the
so many worse
angstiness
things
I
in the
can't with it.
world.
And that's how I felt with these two. I'm like, can you just have a conversations instead of being like, he hates me. He's mad at me for this. It's just like you're supposedly adults. Tough.
Yeah.
Like you're supposedly 20 in this body, you're 20 years old. I don't know how old he I don't know how the hell old he is. I have no idea. They
Yeah.
never mention. But like, you're obviously old enough to be adults.
Yeah.
Have a conversation.
Yeah.
And she was fixing that towards the end, but like,
Yeah.
but that's my main critique with a lot of YA. Now, I'm just like,
Mm.
but I think like, and I have to keep on reminding myself, I'm like, I'm not the age
That's she's
bracket that
going
this is written
for.
for.
Yeah. So I
And
can
I'm like,
enjoy
I
it for
can't
what
be
it is.
so harsh on it. But when it doesn't make complete sense, even to like a 17-year-old, then I can be harsh on it.
Yeah.
Like, I tried, like, I don't think her writing's bad. Like,
Mm-mm.
if she goes to adult, which I hope at some point she does, like,
I
I
would.
would read something else from her,
Yeah.
definitely.
It makes me want to reread the Stalking Jack the Ripper series, but again, that's more
That one I
YA.
have no interest in. That's the
What?
series I'm just like, but okay, story time. Story time. I have a weird obsession with like Jack the Ripper
Ah, okay.
as
That's
a
Nicole
kid.
too.
Yeah, as like a kid, and I'm just like, but I don't want to read YA. I want to know what like actually happened.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I think she did a really good job, and I think that whole series they take.
Stalking Jack the Ripper is the first one, right?
Yep, yeah, and then Hunting Prince Dracula is the second.
And I just reread Dracula for the first time in a very long time. The original Dracula. Yeah.
Yeah, one of them. I think this third one is Capturing Houdini, and the last one is Devil in the White City, or something like that. But it follows like actual either.
Events.
Yeah, um, which I thought was really interesting.
If you
So,
really like Stalking Jack the Ripper, I would look at, I forget who wrote it, but the book is called The Five,
okay, I'll check it
and
out.
it's I don't know if it's nonfiction or literary fiction,
Okay.
but it follows the five women and it details their lives, the five women that Jack the Ripper knowingly killed, that they have
Oh,
on record that he killed, and it's so interesting. But
okay.
I'm weird. I like reading that stuff.
What do you rereading? Are you talking about this book? A different book? One of the ones that we're talking about? Oh gosh, we've talked about a lot of books already.
uh, what are you rereading, Liz?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm dropping stuff.
Oh, Dracula. Okay.
Yeah, Dracula. I didn't like it as much as the first time I read it, and it made me upset that I didn't
That's
like it as much.
that's why sometimes I try not to reread things. I think Charles said this on a different live that we were on, where he had mentioned that he doesn't like to reread because he doesn't like to question his past selves.
Well, and then
Um,
sometimes I do question, like,
what did I like about this? Why did
yeah,
I remember? And
I'm
that's
just
the other
like,
reason why I'm like, am I gonna love this as much as I thought I did? Because honestly,
yeah.
some of these rereads, I'm going, okay. I mean, I'm gonna continue to give you a
Don't
5.
reread books you've read as like a younger person, because yeah.
Ooh, fun. Yeah, I just don't do too much
Oh, the really
scary,
pretty
so
edition. I'm so jealous.
gonna have to look that up later.
I reread it through audio. I had through, it was Audible. It was like an Audible exclusive thing. It was
Ah.
it was Alan Cumming and Tim Curry reading it together.
Oh,
And it
okay.
was, and that really did help because it was like you got the different voices, and you knew who was talking because it was a different actor each time.
Yeah.
So it was interesting, but like, I don't know if it was just because I read it in college and I had a really great literature professor who like made you like everything because of how he like
Yeah.
he dissected stuff, but it wasn't like to the point of like, okay, we get it, can we move on? It was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Do you have other sorry to, like, slightly tangent, but go back to the book. Did
Yeah.
you have other Post-it notes?
Um,
Sorry.
no, I'm just trying to remember which ones I've talked about and which ones I haven't.
I think we talked about quite a few of them. I mean, we mentioned everything we talked about before the live, and because I was terrified that I wasn't gonna, be able to get all this up and going, we got here about a half hour early, so
I
that's
know.
impressive.
But I just want more like of like, I'm curious about lust, just out of fun. Like, I want to know like lust, pride, and I love the fact that Sloth was a reader.
Yes. Okay, I was actually gonna ask everyone, like, what house that they felt most aligned with, and I was gonna say sloth for that exact reason. I'm like, first of all, I'm super lazy. Second of all, if he's reading all the time, sure, sign me up. I would love to be in your house, sir. Thank
And how they
you.
were making fun of him because he brings a book to a party. I'm like, that's me.
I love the thing. He was
Depending
like, he
on who the
probably
party is, I bring a book.
He smuggled the bookend in his jacket. I
in
was
his
like,
pocket.
"Bravo."
I do want to try, like, made me want to drink a glass of wine though. They kept on talking about wine, and I'm just like, I haven't had wine in a long time.
Well, I mean, it is super late where you're at, so maybe not tonight, but
Not
tomorrow
later, maybe this
afternoon.
weekend. I'm trying to think.
I don't think there's
I think
anything
the
else.
book itself is pretty. Like, I like.
The maps.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing I wish, and I guess it would have been like a major spoiler and why she couldn't do it, was I wanted to see it wouldn't have been a spoiler because we wouldn't have known about it until the end. Um,
Sicily. What's this?
yeah,
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing.
I wanted to see a picture of where that was in location to everything else.
Yeah.
Um,
How it takes them 5 seconds to get anywhere. I'm like, can we please explain how that works?
True. This is also true, Liz. Even if he had a phone, I mean, I guess I haven't mentioned phones or technology in hell, so.
But
Um,
that's the thing. Like, this was supposed to be in the 1800s, supposedly. So what year was it really? If it was fake Sicily,
I
what year
mean,
was it really?
that's also true. Hard to
Just out of
say.
curiosity, like, if it's not the year or the place that it's set to be, what is it?
True. Yeah, well,
Is
I
it
guess
is
it's
it
like
is it her way of looking at limbo because you're not really in hell?
I
Is
think
it
so.
limbo?
Yeah, because she did mention when they were like, "Yeah, you can literally be any time or place within the shifting aisles because it's shifting." Oh my gosh, I just understood it. Shifting aisles because the time is always different. It
That's
kind
why
of suits
it
wherever
didn't
you
make
want
sense
to
to me.
be.
Like, I really liked how it was a certain time period, and then, like, kind of like retcon that a little. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. But I do like how the cover here actually came into play because at one point, in the very beginning, the skull with the eyes, I was like, "Oh, that's the cover."
Yeah, and it actually connected. It was the skull with the rubies and
Yeah,
that. And that's why they thought that Victoria, is it Victoria? Is the other sister?
Vittoria without a
Yeah,
C. Vittorie or RIA.
yeah.
Think.
The spelling, we're not even gonna get there with some of the spelling. I'm just like,
Spelling, we're just gonna put that under the covers. It's
just like,
fine.
okay,
It would be cool to have a compendium for sure.
absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Or, like, again, her source material, so I can be like, okay, I want to know everything.
yeah. We're gonna have to. I'll have to try and see if I can find it. I can't link it anywhere, but I'm sure she's got it on some of her websites or something or other. Um, so yeah. Does anybody else have additional thoughts? Do you have more post-it notes? I feel like at this other time where
No,
I should
I
probably
feel
start
like we
asking everyone
covered it
else.
all. Like, we went out of order, but we pretty much covered it all.
We did. We started at the end. We jumped to the beginning. We went to the middle
Well, that's
again.
pretty on point for
Pretty much.
if we picked this book up in general.
True, true. For real. They have done so much for those two.
Thank you.
Mhm. Mhm.
And they're doing more. Like, I think another book from J.R. Tolkien is coming out next week, and I'm just like,
What? How's that
how
even
he's been dead
possible?
since the 70s.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand. And I'm not that, like, I'm not saying that I don't like Lord of the Rings, but I'm like, how do they keep on, like, magically finding stuff to make a new book?
This is also true. This is also true. Ooh, Liz pre-ordered it. Is that what you're reading next, Liz? Oh, you said
Yeah.
Dracula. Never mind. Or that's at the end of the month. I mean, I guess we are at the end of the month.
Well,
It
it
could
is
be
almost
either.
Halloween, so Dracula is pretty fitting. I have to admit, last month I read Frankenstein, and that one held up.
Oh,
I
okay.
reread Frankenstein for the first time since I was in college, and Frankenstein was great.
Okay. I
So some
haven't.
stuff holds up. But I also go into a lot of stuff with classics, like it was the first of its time. Like, it might
Right.
seem cliche now, but that's because everybody copied it.
True. True, true.
Not too many tangents, I have to say. We didn't do too bad.
We didn't. I'm really proud of us. We kept it going. We chatted. We were engaging. I feel like February is not going to be as terrifying, although I don't know if I'm
No,
going to
you
ruin the
you ripped
first
the band-aid
January.
off. We're good. We're good. We
Sorry
ripped
if
the
I didn't
band-aid
keep the
off.
comments up too long. I don't know how to do that. Mid the genre. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I'm not so hard on Dracula, but I was just like, I don't remember this taking so long to get through.
True. All
I'm
right.
not saying you're gonna hate it, Liz. I'm just saying rereading it 10 years later, I'm like, I don't remember this happening, but okay.
All right. Before I forget to do this, I think I can do them
Oh.
all. The next live stream. Haha! We are coming back. Nicole will probably be here. If not, I'll be here.
I'm so excited for this one. I'm really excited for this one.
Yeah, so Not My Type by Evie Mitchell. We'll be doing that in 2 weeks. Please note the time change because daylight saving time will happen that weekend. Um,
Coming up fast.
yeah,
This year is almost over. It's insane.
coming up real fast. But yeah, if everyone, okay. Oh God, I'm already nervous and I'm gonna do the wrong hand. But if anyone like to take a screenshot, go ahead. It feels so silly to do that without Nicole here.
We have a couple more though.
We do have a few more after this as well, but that's going to be the next one. Be prepared. Actually, I'm going to spoil it. Be prepared to do a double feature, not 2 weeks from now, but we'll actually go back to back lives. The following week, we plan to read Rough Hem Justice by Julianne Lindsay because somehow we both forgot that it
which
came
you
out
can get for free through her newsletter.
Yes.
She sends you a link that you can easily download it for free.
Yes, so make sure you get the newsletter.
Or
Buy
if
it,
you follow her on her Facebook group thing.
Oh yes, yeah, she posted a couple links for there as well. So just kind of a little precursor because that one we're gonna sprinkle in. I don't think we've had it in any of our
No, I just
thumbnails.
found out this morning when Nicole texted it.
We were texting.
I was like,
back
oh,
and
okay,
forth.
cool.
I think it's a shorter novella because she did it as part of, I don't know if it was a charity thing, but
yeah, it was a charity thing.
Yeah, so we're doing that.
Because I asked her if it was able to be printed, and she's like, it's not long enough for it to even warrant being printed.
Oh, dang.
So you can only get it through. You can only get it through the Facebook, the link, either through her
newsletter
email list or
let me type it in here.
Or the Facebook link.
Justice. I think that's how you spell it. Oh my gosh.
There's Nicole.
No, that was me.
That was you. I'm like, which that one out here? I'm like, but I'm looking at your face and then
hers. I know I had to sign into her account. The weird thing is, when I signed into StreamYard, it still recognized me as Jen. So I was just like, am I under Jen? Am I under Nicole?
Right.
Clearly, I'm still under Nicole, but it recognized.
It did the same thing when I had to sign under Aaron's for that interview.
Oh.
Same thing. It was like, you're Birdie in the books. So here, I was like, okay.
We've got a cat sighting. Hang on. Hi, it's Patches.
Cat cameo. Getting so big.
They are. I saw the picture that I posted on my photo of the day not too long ago was actually when they were kittens, like super tiny. I mean, they're still kittens, but they're fleshing out now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think.
Thank you for putting up with us, our crazy.
Yeah. Thanks for enjoying the chaos because I'm sure. I mean, it could have been worse, so I'm proud with how it came out.
StreamYard worked. The one day I signed into StreamYard and it kicked me out when I was trying to do it. I was like, and it wouldn't let me back in. I'm like, why?
Feel like Jen needs me. She's not going to survive. I literally, if it had just been me, I don't think that this would have gone nearly as long. I probably would have been 5 minutes, been like, here's the book. Here are my thoughts. Bye. So thanks for hanging out with us for the last hour. Thanks everyone watching on replay. Don't forget to like stuff, follow us.
Like and subscribe if you're not subscribed.
Yep. Feel free to check out the book. I mean, it was good, but there were.
It was a fast read. I will say that.
Yes, unless if you're on the audiobook and then it feels like
I would not recommend the audiobook. So pick it up physically or ebook.
Exactly. Yeah, true. Definitely just physically read this one. I think that's where we're just going to leave it. I don't think anyone else has anything else to say. So if that is all, we shall see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.